Hi, I'm Aaliyah Woods, co-founder and farm manager for Commonwealth Urban Farms. This is our Beginning Gardener video series designed to help you have a successful garden even if you've never planted a seed in your life. Today's topic is perennial herbs, but first let's take a quick look at our garden. Here's our tomato plant. It looks fantastic. As always, we're just going to pull the branches back inside the cage. This is a sun gold tomato, and we've got a couple sun golds that I think are ready to harvest right down here. When they turn deep orange, that means they're ready. Fantastic, I love these tomatoes. Pepper plants coming along nicely, little flowers. This is the pot we planted last week. So we've got parsley, a purple basil, and dill. Our chard looks great. It grew through whatever bug was eating up its leaves. Still a few holes, but lots of foliage. We could harvest this today if we wanted. And our little Genovese basil plant right there. I'm going to go ahead and pinch this. See where the top of the plant is starting to elongate and it wants to form a flower? I'm going to pinch that off, and that will promote more branching. A plant's purpose in life basically is to produce seed, to reproduce. So when a plant goes to seed, then it feels like its purpose has been accomplished, mission accomplished, and it will go to seed. It will for annuals. Then it begins this process of decline. So if we can keep it from going to seed, then we extend its useful life to us. All right, now let's go look at our okra. Here's the okra plants that we planted as transplants. They're looking great. I added a little more mulch. There's still weeds coming up. It would be wise if I put down a heavy layer of mulch at this point over this whole area. It will reduce the amount of weeding that I need to do. But every week, just come through and pull out whatever weeds you find. If you do it on a weekly basis, it's pretty quick. Here's the red okra that we direct seeded, so you can see it's a little bit behind the regular okra. And sometime in the next week, I need to either pull one of those out or gently dig it out and transplant it to another location. Sweet potato plants look great. They are really coming along. This is our Armenian cucumber seedling. You can see it's starting to vine. So we're going to go ahead and get it started on this trellis. Just loop it around there. Hyacinth beans are almost big enough to start going up the trellis. I'm going to add some more mulch. I didn't get over here this past weekend to weed. Still need to do that. But just mulching will help a lot. It won't keep out Bermuda. Bermuda is a lot tougher than that, but it will help keep out other weeds. There are far more wonderful perennial herbs than what we're going to be able to cover this morning. But let me introduce you to a few of them. So lavender and rosemary are two of our favorites. For me, lavender has done best planted with partial shade. I know usually they say plant lavender even in Oklahoma in full sun, but every time I've done that it's died. So I now always plant lavender, preferably where it gets morning sun and afternoon shade, but I'll show you a plant in a minute that has morning shade and afternoon sun, and it's doing very well too. Same thing for rosemary. It will take full sun, but it's done better for me with a little bit of shade. Lots of sun, but still a little bit of shade. Sage is another wonderful perennial herb. There's all different kinds of sages or salvias. This is a culinary sage, but there are lots of other ornamental sages that are beautiful in the garden too. Here we have lemon verbena. This is one of my top 3 favorite herbs. The scent of the leaves is just pure lemon. It's fantastic. It makes a great tea. It's not a reliable perennial. It will sometimes overwinter for us. Sometimes it winter kills. Mint, of course. Well, what can you say about mint? When mint is happy, it's really, really happy, and it will spread. Be sure when you plant it somewhere where you don't mind it spreading and spreading and spreading. Here we have oregano, has a little bit wider leaf, and thyme. Thyme has that tiny, tiny little leaf. We all need more thyme, right? Today we're going to plant some thyme. But first, let me show you a few herbs that we already have planted in this garden area. This is lemon balm, super easy herb to grow. We just started with a little pot, now it's this whole big plant, just comes back year after year. This makes a great tea also, has a really nice lemony scent. Then we have some mint right over here. Planted it outside the garden bed, but here it is inside the garden bed. That's mint for you, but we love it. Love, love, love mint. Man, just love that scent. And over here, we have a couple herbs. This is sorrel. So this could also be called a perennial vegetable. You can use it like an herb or like a vegetable, like a leafy green, for making the classic French sorrel soup. I prefer it raw, actually, just to cut the young leaves. Don't cut the old leaves. The big leaves, they get a little bit tough. But cut the new growth in spring and fall. And I just like to cut it into ribbons and toss it into salad for a nice kind of sour lemony addition to the salad greens. Here's a lavender plant. So this is a good example of the times that I've been successful growing lavender. So in this location, it gets morning shade and afternoon sun, which is kind of a tough combination, but it's done really well for us. Blooming right now. All right, so now we're going to plant some thyme. We're turning this bed, this little round bed, basically into an herb garden. So we've already got lavender and sorrel. Now we're going to add some thyme here, and then I'm going to put some rosemary and sage later on in the other areas of the bed. Not great soil, it's pretty heavy red clay, but herbs are generally fairly forgiving. Most herbs do want full or close to full sun. So I'm just going to dig up a little patch, add some compost. I always like to add compost before I plant. Work it in. And now I'm going to pop out this little thyme seedling, push the bottom, let it kind of fall into your hand. This one's a bit root bound, so I'm going to tease out the roots, just like that. Make a hole, put the dirt down around it, and let's give it some mulch. And water it in. We've had so much rain lately that we don't need to do very much watering, but just enough to settle it into its place. All right, thyme, done. I hope you have a wonderful time growing herbs. It is one of the most satisfying parts of gardening to me, both the beauty and the scent and the usages in the kitchen. Thanks for watching. See you next week.